Every once in a while, a year comes along that just completely rewrites the playbook for an entire industry. Well, for artificial intelligence, 2025 was that year. And honestly, it was pretty much all thanks to the incredible strategic moves of one single company, DeepSeek. It all kicked off with this one massive question. How do you actually challenge the established giants in a trillion-dollar industry? See, it's not enough to just innovate. You have to fundamentally change the rules of the game. And that is exactly what DeepSeek set out to do.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down their unbelievable year. We'll start with just the sheer speed of their disruption, then dig into how they redefined AI reasoning, built this really unique hardware-agnostic moat, and just completely reset the market's costs. Then, we'll see how that all paved the way for a huge shift to AI agents, and of course what it all means for you.
All right, first up, a year of disruption. The story of DeepSeek in 2025 wasn't about one single big announcement. No, it was about a constant strategic pressure they applied to the entire industry month after month.
I mean, just look at this timeline. January, boom, they launch 1R. By May, it's already got a major update. Come August, they make a huge strategic pivot with v3.1. And then, to cap off the year in December, v3.2 drops with these game-changing agentic features. This wasn't just innovation, it was a full-on blitz.
Okay, Section 2, Redefining AI Reasoning. This is really where DeepSeek first threw down the gauntlet. They decided to challenge the core belief in AI. The idea that bigger is always better.
Their goal was, frankly, incredibly ambitious. They wanted to achieve the same level of complex reasoning that the undisputed industry leader, OpenAI, was famous for.
But here's the absolute kicker. They planned to do it using only a tiny fraction of the computational power. This was never about outspending the competition. It was about outsmarting them.
And this image just illustrates their method perfectly. Instead of just throwing a mountain of processing power at a problem, their model learned to break it down step by step. You can see it right here. It identifies the attributes sequentially. First large, then it adds metal, then cylinder, to arrive at the right answer, but way more efficiently.
And the impact was immediate. First off, they actually achieved performance parity. They were just as good as the best in the business on key benchmarks. Second, they democratized that power, releasing smaller models that could run on everyday devices. And third, by making it all open source, they just unleashed this massive wave of global research and customization. Now, this obsession with efficiency led them right into their next major strategic move, which is our third section, the hardware-agnostic moat. DeepSeek figured out that real, lasting power comes from independence.
And this quote from a market analysis really says it all. While all the other major players were totally dependent on one single supplier for their high-end chips, DeepSeek built this incredible defensive moat by making sure their software could run on pretty much anything.
The strategic pivot they made with their v3.1 model was just a masterstroke. It gave them geopolitical resilience against things like export controls, it proved their mastery of software optimization, and it totally future-proofed their business by making them the #1 partner for all the new chip manufacturers.
All right, now for Section 4, and this is where things get truly disruptive, resetting the market's floor. So once they had a handle on reasoning and hardware, DeepSeek turned its attention to the economics of AI itself.
And once again, the analysts saw it coming. This wasn't just a price drop. It was being called a market clearing event, something that would force everyone to completely reevaluate what AI is even worth.
So, what was the magic number? 1/10. DeepSeek was now delivering top-tier, frontier AI intelligence for 1/10 of the previous market price. It was a complete and total reset of the value equation.
Now, what I love about this slide is how clearly it lays out the new battlefield. On one side, you have DeepSeek, radically cheaper, open, super efficient, and flexible. And on the other side, the incumbents, premium-priced, proprietary, and totally locked into the cloud. All of a sudden, the choice became crystal clear for thousands of developers.
So this brings us to Section 5, the shift to agents. With genius-level reasoning, hardware independence, and unbeatable economics, DeepSeek was finally ready for the next evolution, moving beyond simple chatbots to create autonomous systems that actually get stuff done.
And at the heart of it all is this architecture. See, an agent isn't just a chatbot. It has a profile, it has a memory so it can learn, it has the ability to plan, and, this is the most important part, it has the ability to take action. This is the blueprint for an AI that doesn't just talk, it does.
And that capability scales up beautifully. You can go from a single agent that handles one task and corrects itself, all the way to a super sophisticated multi-agent system where you have a supervisor coordinating specialized agents to manage an entire complex business workflow.
And it was DeepSeek's v3.2 model that made this all possible. It could use tools right out of the box, seamlessly interact with APIs and databases, and let people create these amazing autonomous workflows, which was a direct challenge to the systems being built by their closed-source competitors.
So, after all that, what does this new landscape actually mean for professionals? Well, our final section breaks down the report's key recommendations.
Okay, so for tech leaders, the message is pretty clear. Start using DeepSeek for your heavy reasoning tasks, and think about bringing it in-house. For investors, it's time to seriously reevaluate those sky-high valuations of proprietary models. And for consultants, the focus should really be on advising clients about technological independence and starting to pilot these new agentic workflows.
And what was the ultimate endgame for DeepSeek in all of this? Well, their ambition was nothing less than to become the Linux of AI, the foundational, open, and absolutely essential operating system for the entire global artificial intelligence economy.
Which leaves us with one final and, I think, crucial question. For decades, the most powerful technology on the planet was kept behind locked doors. DeepSeek's goal was to change that, forever. So, looking ahead, we really have to ask ourselves, is the future of intelligence fundamentally open?